Hey guys, so today's going to be a cool video. We're finally going to give a tour of the bus. It's probably about 95% done, and so we thought it'd be a good time. There's still a couple pieces of trim that need some paint and some odds and ends like that, but it's good enough to give a decent tour of. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give kind of just a visual tour, and so that everyone can kind of get an idea of what it looks like inside. And then I'm going to give a more detailed tour of how things work, you know, what we did with power and batteries and that kind of thing. So that'll be a little bit more nerdy and maybe boring and dry for some people, so you can turn it off at that point. So we'll show you what the bus looks like first. Alright, let's check it out. So just to show you the front way, this is the door, stairwell. We've got tile, and then we've got some carpet around there. So it goes up. Here's the driver area. And what you'll notice is we've got these shades here as well. Those are awesome. Let me just take my shoes off. We have a new no shoe policy. Coat hanger here. So let me get back and try and get a decent perspective of it. So there we go. So we got the sort of living room area. For those that haven't seen, we've got these, I put these nice wood trim pieces around all the window frames so that they weren't just bare metal. See the other side there. And then here's the kitchen. So we've got the upper storage. That's been a lifesaver for us. We weren't going to put those in at all. They were kind of an afterthought. We just didn't want to take the time, but if you're doing a bus, you definitely need them. It's amazing. They don't seem that big, but they hold an immense amount of stuff. And then we've got the cabinets, sink. See the floor here. And this is my desk here. It's what I do all my schoolwork on and stuff like that. Here's our control panel. We'll get into that nitty-gritty later. Then we go back and we've got the bunk room. So up top we've got Annie's bed. Each bed has a couple lights. They've got a fluorescent or an incandescent. This is Rain's down here. There's no light on. Hold on. So there's Rain's bed. And got nice. That's the edge of it there. Up here we've got Autumn's bed. And then down here we've got one bin per girl. It has all their stuff in there. This was an area where we ended up cutting the budget right at the end. So someday I'm sure we'll actually have real drawers and stuff. And down here we've got just toy boxes for each type of toy. We've got blocks and Playmobil. And behind those boxes is the furnace and hot water tank. And those will of course all be closed in eventually, but it's one of those things where budget came in first. Back here we've got a bunch of electrical. Again, we'll get into that later. This is very important. This is our gas detector. So it detects propane and CO2. We really put a lot of effort into fire, and there's smoke detectors everywhere and fire extinguishers throughout. So next we got the bathroom. This is the shower here. Reasonable size. Obviously we store the vacuum in there when we're not using it. Then we come to the other side here. We got our toilet, our separate, which has been great, and our bathroom sink. You'll notice that this door has not been stained yet, so that's one of the little things. It should be dark. Then we go back into the back bedroom, and we've got one bin for each, myself and Nicole. That'll change, again, one of those things that, you know, it works fine for now. Eventually I would imagine we'll have dressers in here. There's lots of room for a dresser to sit in there, so that's our bookshelf. That was very important to have all our books on. Eventually I'm sure we'll have some more, but, and you can see the trim, Noah's Ark stuck to the ceiling in magnets. Just have a peek at it. That's what the windowsills look like. So that's pretty much the walkthrough. Just walk back through. Just one more. So that's pretty much the walkthrough. So now to the nitty-gritty. Power is by a couple means. We've got batteries underneath, and so you can be, well, I'll show you. This here unit is connected to our batteries underneath. It's a little computer actually that I bought, and it tells us various things about the batteries so we know how much we're using and how much we're charging. So the way that works is batteries can charge from either being plugged into a plug or being plugged into a plug. Losing my train of thought here. The other way that they can charge is from the engine. My father, being the genius that he is, hooked it up so that when the engine is on, it'll charge the batteries as well. And there's even a switch here to control whether or not that connection is being made. So it's only made, first of all, if the engine is on. Otherwise the batteries are not connected. If the engine is on and that switch is on, then the batteries are connected, and the engine's alternator will charge the battery bank. And it puts in about 60 amps while we're driving, which is quite a lot, because I find that we typically only use about 10 to 15 amps on average. So we get a 6-to-1 ratio. If we drive for 2 hours, we should have about 12 to 15 hours worth of power. The power goes through a power converter when we're plugged in that is integrated with the panel here, and it's very smart. It'll It'll charge full blast till the batteries are about 90% full, and then automatically start to slow down the charge, and that helps the batteries last a long time. This is our inverter, and this allows us to run off of the batteries while we're driving for things that aren't 12 volt. So my computer, the fridge, those types of things go through the inverter, and it's a 1,000-watt inverter, and I've found it to be completely adequate for our needs. The other thing we've got here is we've got level meters that we've put in so that you can tell how full things are, so you can see our gray water tank. Now we don't have a black water tank because we've got the composting separate toilet, which allows us to just have a gray water and fresh water tank. So you can see our gray water there is 2/3 full. What else? Anything else here? There's a power switch for the inverter. Power switch for hot water tank. This controls whether or not it's fired from gas or from electricity. So if you want electricity, you just fire that on. So that's how that works. One of the things I want to show you guys, techie wise, is just how to start the bus. A lot of people have asked about actually operating the bus. It's not too bad. I'll just take a seat here. So you got just your standard gauges, speedo and tachometer and some fuel gauges and such. It's very simple. You just put your key in, and then you've got this here. This lever here is the engine shut off. So you got to make sure that's put in all the way, and you have to make sure it's in neutral. If it's not in neutral, it won't start, and that's caused a couple problems. So then fires right up. And honestly, that's after not starting it for like a week. So it fires up really, really nice. And it runs nice. So then you've got your brake release. I'll just shut it off. I don't want to get it all hot. But so that's how you stop it there. Most of these switches, while they look cool, do not do anything anymore. They were either related to things like light switches, which we've moved to more convenient locations, or they were for school bus things like the old school bus door and the old stop sign, that kind of thing. Let me show you underneath and sort of show you what's under there. Just get my shoes on. First of all, here is a bay I put in. I'm going to put a few of them in actually. They're just plywood boxes, and I'm going to seal the outside. The plug receptacle is at the back of this one so that I can just throw the cord in without actually even having to unplug it. And that big cable goes to your power either at a house or an RV park. Up here we've got our water inlet, so this is from a city hose like what you'd have in your garden, and this is if you want to put in water just with a fill hose without any pressure. This here is our hot water tank, and this is our furnace. Oh sorry, I got that backwards. Furnace, hot water tank. And then down here, you just get under here. This is our gray water tank, and there's a relief valve there, and the cords there are for some sensors. That'll all be covered up. You can see some wiring is still loose there, and it's got to be sheathed and covered. This is what we're looking at here is underneath the bathroom. So what you can see there is a few hoses, a lot of hoses actually. There's the insulated ones are hot and cold. And then you've got the big clear hose, which actually has to be connected to this other black hose, which goes to our clean water, our fresh water. And like I said, there's some wiring that has to be cleaned up there. That wiring is for sensors for the levels of the tank. And it goes across here where there is, let me turn around here. You can see our shiny new brakes under there. Then you've got our freshwater tank and a pump. Again, pump's going to be all covered up, and some wiring is going to be cleaned up there. That's again the gray water tank. That's the overfill right there. So if it gets too full, start coming out there. And then over here, I'll just quickly show you. Under here, we've got a bunch of goodies. There is a big plywood box, and in the plywood box there's 5 large batteries in there that power us when we're on the road. That is actually enough room for 8, so we have the ability to add more battery power in there as well. You can see it there. So there's a quick tour. I mean, I'm sure there's stuff I'm leaving out. If you have any questions about the bus, of course leave a comment. I always try and answer them, either myself or Nicole. And yeah, ask any questions you have, whether it's techie or just about anything in general. Cool. And give us a thumbs up. See ya. Bye.